This is Extra Paycheck Podcast, episode number 145.
You're listening to Extra Paycheck Podcast, where you will learn how to build and grow your own successful online business. Now, here's your host, Alex Soul.
Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of 2018. This is episode number 145, and today we will be talking about setting New Year's resolutions, setting goals, and becoming a more successful person in 2018. According to Forbes, only 8% of people actually follow through on their New Year's resolution, and more than 80% of people give up by Valentine's Day, which means that 8 out of 10 people completely neglect and forget their New Year's resolution only a month and a half into the new year. And I think one of the big reasons why so many people fail at following through on their resolutions is because they don't really know what they want. And how can you possibly achieve something when you don't know what that something is, when you have no clue what you're trying to achieve? And let me get a little deeper into that and explain what I mean. Often people confuse resolutions and goals, and it's very understandable. So resolutions are supposed to be long-term, and they're supposed to be something you keep instead of completing. A resolution is something that's ongoing, something that you can't complete eventually. So a resolution would be losing weight or eating healthier or making more money or being more happy. All of those things are resolutions, but you can't really achieve them because they aren't precise, they aren't exact, they aren't detailed. And this is exactly why you should be setting goals and not resolutions, because resolutions are really vague and really hard to follow through with. So in this episode, I will help you to set up goals for 2018 and goals that you could actually achieve, goals that you could actually track, and goals that will help you become a bigger and better person in 2018, goals that will help you grow your business, make more money, and simply be more productive. A goal is a desired result that a person wishes to achieve. So goals need to be very specific and very detailed. I heard something from, I think, Mark Manson, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll link to his book, really great book, highly suggested. So Mark said that a proper question to ask yourself is, what are you willing to suffer for, rather than what will make you happy or what do you want to achieve? And I think this is a great question because, of course, we all want to lose some weight, but are you willing to suffer for it by exercising, by actually going to the gym, by cutting out on junk food, by not ordering pizza anymore, by not eating candy bars anymore? Because those things will make you suffer. And if you truly want to lose weight, you're willing to suffer for it. The same idea goes for building a successful business. Are you willing to suffer through hundreds of rejections when you're calling your potential clients and everybody's shutting you down and nobody wants to buy your service? Or if you're building a startup, you're contacting hundreds of people and nobody wants to invest in your startup. Nobody likes your idea. Are you willing to suffer through that? Are you willing to get up at 5 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. so you can actually work on your company before you need to head out to your real job, or before your kids wake up and you need to take care of your family? Are you willing to suffer by giving up at least a part of your social life, if not all of your social life, because you need time to work on that company? Once again, when setting those goals, you need to make sure that you're actually willing to suffer to get those results. You don't just want to achieve something. As I said, we all want to be healthier. We all want to make more money. But it's people who are willing to suffer for those results are actually the ones that are getting the results they want. So make sure that whatever you think you want, you actually really honestly want, and then go after it. Okay, so let's get into the actual goal setting. The very first thing you need to do is write your goals down. This is very important. I can't stress that enough. You can't just sit in your chair and think of all the things you want to achieve. You have to write them down. And I'm about to go through different things and ways to write those goals down, but make sure you have a piece of paper and a pen, or maybe a notepad on your computer, and you actually write them down. Second thing, your goals have to be very, very specific. Once again, if you're simply writing, I want to lose weight, that's not a goal, that's a resolution. If you're writing, I want to make more money, that's not a goal, that's a resolution. And you're likely to fail that resolution because you don't know how much weight you want to lose, you don't know how much money you want to make, you don't know how many hours you want to work in a day, and so on. So be very, very specific. And I'll give you some examples, of course. So if you want to lose weight, you can't just write that down. You have to write, I want to lose 12 pounds by the end of the year, or whatever your exact goal is. So you have to write how many pounds you want to lose and what's the time frame to get that result. You can write down, I want to be earning $10,000 per month by the end of 2018. And you can break that goal down and write something like, I want to be earning $8,000 by the end of August, or I want to be earning $5,000 by the end of April of this year. And whatever other goals you have, you need to find a way to make them more specific, to write them down in details, to give yourself a time limit on achieving those goals. And it's okay if you fail. That's not a big deal. It's trying that counts here. And if you get any kind of results, of course, that's going to push you further and it will help you get more results eventually, even though you might not achieve whatever you want to achieve at the very specific time. But having those time limits will help you get to your goals quicker, and it will help you to get to your end results more creatively. In the next step, you need to explain why these goals are so important to you. Once again, you have to do it in writing. You have to explain on a piece of paper why you want to achieve this very specific results, why you're setting these very specific goals. If you want to be earning a specific amount of money, you have to write down why you want this very amount and what you're going to do with it once you achieve that goal. You shouldn't come up with a random number like $10,000 a month. You need to actually sit down and calculate the very specific amount you want to be making. So if you want to be putting $2,000 in your savings, and then you want to put another $1,000 into investments, and then you want to give $1,000 to your parents, and then you want to put another $1,000 to your kids' college fund, then you have to calculate your rent or your mortgage, your car payments, your insurance payments, how much you spend on food, how much you spend on going out, and all of that. And only then you'll have a realistic number that you should be aiming for. Once you have that number, it'll be a lot easier to achieve because you'll know the exact number and you'll know exactly where that money will be going. At this point, you can also break down that very specific amount of money by days. So once again, let's say you want to make $10,000 a month. That's your final number, and you know exactly where the money is going to go and why exactly you need $10,000. You could break it down by days. If you split the 10K by 30 days in a month, this means that you need to be making about $333 every single day. Once you have that specific amount, it will help you understand how to get to that specific level in a day. So let's say right now you're making $120 per day with your online business or with whatever you're doing. So what can you do to grow that 120 in a day to 330 in a day? Personally, I find that working with these more concrete and smaller numbers is much easier than a more obscure sum of money, something that's more general. Going from $3,000 a month to $10,000 a month could seem like a huge and complicated thing, but going from $100 to $330 per day, for some reason, seems easier and less complicated. And I'm pretty sure you'll get more ideas. Once again, your brain will become more creative and it will help you figure out the solution to that specific question and to that specific number. Advice number 4 is writing down a plan of action for each goal that you have set previously. If you want to lose 12 pounds in a year, that's only 1 pound per month. What can you do to lose that 1 pound? Let's say you're going to sign up to a gym and you're going to exercise, but how many times will you exercise in a week? Let's say you're planning on doing it 3 times a week. So besides just thinking that you'll do it 3 times a week, you actually have to write it down. I will exercise on Monday, on Wednesday, on Friday. On Monday, I'll be at the gym at 5 p.m. On Wednesday, I'll be at the gym at 7 p.m. And on Friday, I'll be at the gym at 4 p.m. Write those down and stick to that. If you are like me and you're not very organized, you need to actually put those reminders in your calendar for the whole year. Every single Monday, your phone needs to go off in advance and tell you, hey, you have to be at the gym at 5 p.m. today, so make sure you don't miss that. As I said, you need a plan of action for every single goal. You have to schedule it and you have to figure out how you're going to that goal by following that plan that you're writing right now. Point number 5 is that you can't achieve everything at the same time. And I'm saying that because I know myself and I usually set a lot of goals for a whole year to come. And of course, in the end, I don't complete all of those goals. I don't follow through. Many of them, I simply give up in the first few months because I understand that I wouldn't have time for those goals. Many others get neglected because I concentrate on some other goals that in the end seem to be less important. And then I regret it and that kind of sucks. But what you can do, you could actually make a priority list for all of your goals that you've set. Look at the goals that are the most important to you and spend most of the time on them. Especially at the beginning of the year when you're all pumped and ready to get the work done, ready to get those results. Spend most of the time and most of your effort on goals that matter the most to you, and only then spend the extra time on secondary goals. This is very important, and setting this priority will help you get more done. Another reason for setting this priority is simply because when you have 20 different things you want to achieve, 20 different goals, you'll often be stuck thinking, okay, what should I do next? Which is more important? Oh, I haven't paid any attention to that goal and I need to get some of that done. And then you get distracted and you think of another goal that you also haven't acted upon. And then you give that goal time. And this way, all of your goals suffer a little bit. And in the end, you don't get anything done because you do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit here, a little bit there. So making that list of priority goals, understanding which goals are the most important and working on them at first and giving them most of your time and most of your attention will certainly help you achieve those goals. And even if you fail at completing those secondary goals, the ones that aren't that important, it wouldn't matter because you follow through with your most important goals and you have achieved the results you wanted to achieve. Advice number 6, and this will be a pretty hard one, and I'm sure a lot of people will really hesitate before taking up this advice and actually acting up on it, is announcing your goals publicly. Telling your friends, telling your spouse, telling your family, simply posting on online groups where you're active enough, Facebook groups, Reddit, that you're planning to achieve this and that. Making your goals public creates accountability where you will have to answer for your actions and where you will have to update the people on your progress. Because your friends and family and your online friends, they will be asking about your progress throughout the year, and you'll have to explain to them what you've been doing and what kind of results have you been getting. If you don't have that kind of accountability, and I'm talking from my own experience, if I never told anyone that I'm trying to achieve something, I just kept it to myself. And I kind of don't feel as bad if I fail on that, if I don't take any action on that very specific goal. But if I told people, I know that they will be asking me throughout the year, okay, so where are you at? What kind of progress have you had with that goal? And I would feel really bad if I haven't done anything, if I haven't done my best making that happen and following through that goal. So making your goals public could be very important and could be a really good push and a motivator for you. Think about that. Actually, don't think about that. Just make your goals public. Tell everyone you can what you're trying to achieve this year and tell them to check up on you from time to time. Last but not least is stating each goal as a positive statement. Now, I know that it's already hard to stick with your goals and there's a lot of negativity, especially when you don't follow through or when you fail at something or where something doesn't go as planned, but expressing your goals positively helps you achieve them. So say eat more healthy instead of saying don't eat junk food. That very specific do not kind of stops you in your track and it does feel negative. It does feel like you're limiting yourself. But if you encourage yourself by saying something positive like eat healthier or eat more fruit or eat more veggies, that sounds simple enough and there's no negativity in it, which I think is very important. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I would love to hear your goals. So head over to extrapodcast.com/145, use the comment section and tell me about your goals. Tell me what you're trying to achieve in 2018. You can also send me an email or Facebook message if you aren't ready to make it public yet. But once again, I highly encourage you making your goals public. Also head over to extrapodcast.com/iTunes in order to subscribe to the show on iTunes. Also extrapodcast.com/Spotify in order to follow the show on Spotify. Once again, Happy New Year. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next Monday.